County Jail. And remember we told you he was actually trading IDs with a fellow inmate?
Well, how did that happen? Well, now the jail is getting a high-tech upgrade to prevent that from happening again.
In the next few days, any inmate that's booked here at the Clark County Jail will have to get their fingerprint scanned first. Now, we're told this is the first local corrections facility to do digital scans. It's a technology that's mostly reserved for federal and state prisons. Last month, Michael Deontay Johnson was locked up in Clark County Jail for kidnapping and other serious charges, but was able to walk right out the door after swapping IDs with another inmate. With this new system, correction officers say that can't happen.
It allows corrections deputies to identify a person coming into the jail by fingerprint, matched with their physical description and their photographs, and then upon release, that fingerprint is compared to their captured one at the beginning to make sure that we're releasing the correct person.
The new finger biometric system cost $40,000 and was already set to be rolled out before Johnson escaped last month.
Students in Westerville City Schools can say goodbye to the long lunch lines. That's because the district is trying out its new student identification system. The pilot program is underway at 3 schools, including Blended Middle School.
Lunch and recess. Some argue it's the best part of the school day.
We have a limited amount of time for lunch in a day, and it varies from age group to age group. So we have a lot of kids to serve, and that experience in their daytime is what's important to me.
Making lunchtime smooth and efficient is what the school district is trying to do with a new pilot program that streamlines the entire process from start to finish. The district is one of the first in Central Ohio to try out biometric finger scanning, and kids are already getting the hang of it.
I like it because I think it's just a lot easier too, because we used to do a lunch card system.
Instead of lunch cards or lengthy student ID numbers to remember, students have a new routine.
The entire process only takes a matter of seconds. It's as simple as placing your finger on this pad, a green light comes on, and then the student's account is pulled up on this screen. Okay, try your other finger, honey.
District officials say the elimination of lunch cards and ID numbers saves both time and hassles.
And some kids forgot their numbers, so the lunch ladies had to look it up.
So kids would often play with them. Sometimes they'd slide them into register vents. Sometimes they crack in half, and then that stops the line.
And if this system proves to be a success, it could be used in other parts of the schools as well.
The system has such an ability. We're starting with food service, but we could potentially move this into libraries. So students are checking their books in and out. Their textbooks even, they can do some tracking with that.
As the mobile app Pokemon Go game continues to grow as a cultural phenomenon, there are serious concerns about the personal data the app is collecting while players out there wander around collecting Pikachus. The company that developed the game is gathering information like your email address, IP address, and your location. All right, so Dan, the question is, a lot of apps collect this kind of information. What are they collecting, and how long is it that these companies are holding on to that information?
Yeah, in this case, they kind of ran into 2 problems at the same time. First, because it's a geolocation app, it uses your actual location and a map to tell you where to go in the game. Some people were like lying in wait at the back of like dark parking lots and mugging people when they came to collect an item in the game. So that was one problem. The second problem was on iOS devices, by default, the app asks for a lot of permissions to access information in your Google account if you signed in through Google, and the game is made by a sister company of Google, so you're likely to do that. They've actually come back within a couple of days and changed that and reduced it to just asking for basically your Google username and your email address, which is a lot more, common.
UFO spotters believe they may have caught a UFO entering the Earth's atmosphere before NASA's International Space Station's feed was inexplicably cut. In the video, you can see what appears to be an object descending down onto Earth, and the feed is cut just before the object can enter. And this is not the first time the ISS livestream is cut out when an unexplained occurrence has happened. Like in this video, which took place last year, an object is slowly ascending into space before the feed is interrupted. And some are saying that the object may be the Chinese space station Tiangong 1 returning to Earth, or possibly just a simple meteor. A spokesman for NASA put out a statement denying NASA technicians advertently shut down the transmission when UFOs appear. NASA claims the loss of video is usually due to the loss of signal from the ISS.
Yesterday, more than 30 people in New York suffered bizarre reactions to an illegal synthetic drug, which is now available all across the country.
Can't stand up straight.
It was a bizarre scene. Dozens of people with blank stares stumbling around a Brooklyn neighborhood yesterday.
This is crazy.
Brian Arthur live streamed it on Facebook.
As I'm walking up the block, I see everybody laid out on the floor, and everybody's just stumbling all over the place. It looked like a scene out of a zombie movie.
Emergency workers sent 33 people to area hospitals, saying they appeared to be under the influence of the synthetic drug known as K2 or spice. Designed to mimic marijuana, the man-made drug has far more powerful effects. This man says he's used it before.
What K2 does, it puts you in a world, a delusional world, have your mind spinning, it's mind-altering.
K2 is made by spraying various legal chemicals onto plants. It's then ground up and smoked. Many users experience confusion, hallucinations, rapid heart rate, and even seizures. Police say it's sold at small neighborhood grocery stores.
This K2 is it?
A CBS undercover producer found it at this Brooklyn corner store last year.
Two of them?
One.
All right.
$10?
$10.
K2 usage is growing nationwide. The CDC reports more than 3,500 calls of synthetic marijuana use to poison centers over a 5-month period last year. That's a 229% jump from the year before.
The number of Americans who feel race relations are bad in America is at an all-time high. 69% of Americans say race relations are bad. That is 1 point higher than the previous all-time record of 68% back in 1992. Those numbers came out just after the LA riots following the Rodney King beating verdict. From 22% in 2009 when President Barack Obama took office to 69% today.
First at 10, 2 Boy Scout camp employees in our region say they were fired after trying to rescue a bald eagle that was hurt. Jeremy and Alina Bookbinder are quoted by the Washington Post as saying they lost their jobs last month at the Goshen Scout Reservation after taking the bird to a wildlife rehab center despite being told not to by their boss. Well, camp officials told them they were fired for disobeying orders that they had broken an unspecified federal law. It is unclear which law they were referencing. The Post notes bald eagles were removed from the state's endangered species list in 2013. A spokesperson for the Scout Reservation declined to comment.
To the Index, in a popular amusement park shut down today after a bomb threat. The bomb squad responding to a threat received by text message about bombs inside Six Flags America near Washington, D.C., closing the park to visitors and investigating 2 unattended backpacks. After several hours, the bomb squad gave the all clear. The park did reopen.
According to sources, Russian authorities detained and then deported board chief Jeff Shell, who oversees U.S. government broadcasting overseas, despite having a valid U.S. passport and Russian visa. This is the latest move amid heightening friction between Washington and Moscow.
We've got breaking news now. Israeli tanks and bulldozers have entered Syria. They are now constructing massive fortifications. This story comes to us via Sputnik News International. They state that with the backing of tanks, Israeli military bulldozers have now entered the demilitarized zone that divides Israel and the Syrian Golan areas, constructing a set of anti-tank trenches and fortifications 300 to 500 meters inside the DMZ. They state that this is the first time that the Israeli Defense Forces have operated openly on the Syrian side of the border since the beginning of the Syrian civil war that began some 5 years ago. Now, apparently, they state here that there has not been any opposition or protest from the Syrian President Bashar Assad or in Damascus. They say the IDF operation was ongoing as of Wednesday, July 12th. Now, they also state that It's on a stretch of terrain facing the Syrian town of Quneitra on one side and the Israeli Golan village of Ein Zivan on the other. Now, they say that the enclave dividing the Golan between Israel and Syria is officially defined as a demilitarized zone. Damascus has yet to say anything about the activity. They say it's a form of intermission, as Assad is now waiting for Tehran to endorse a joint counteraction lead by Iran, Hezbollah, and Syria. They state that IDF movements have reportedly been supported by unusual Israeli Air Force presence over Lebanon and Syria. So this is a very serious move by Israel in the region now.